Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to LIBOR's Wednesday webinar. October is Commercial Real Estate Awareness Month, and each Wednesday this month, we are dedicating different aspects of commercial real estate in the business and profession. And today we're happy to have Janelle Vaughn with us, who is the training manager with RPR. Let me tell you a little bit about Janelle, and I'll turn it over to her. Okay, sorry about that. Janelle Vaughn is the training manager with RPR. She has been a licensed Florida real estate broker since 1997 and is also a licensed Florida educator. Prior to joining RPR, she worked as a corporate trainer for Stellar MLS, the largest MLS in Florida, training subscribers on how to maximize their subscription. She loves the comprehensive nature of RPR's tools and resources. She enjoys helping members make the most out of RPR and strives to help agents include RPR in their business workflows. Janelle lives in Tampa, Florida, with her husband and sweet rescue dog, Nora. Okay, and now I turn it over to you, Janelle. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Marianne. I really am excited to be here with you guys. Like she said, I am in Tampa, Florida. It's kind of gray and warm and muggy today, but hopefully you guys are enjoying some nicer weather up there. Today's class is being recorded, so you should get a copy of the recording after today's presentation. And joining me on today's webinar is my good friend and colleague, Katie. She's going to be backing me up. So if you have questions pertaining to anything we discussed today, please don't hesitate to reach out to Katie, either in the chat or the Q&A, and she'll do her very best to answer any questions that come up. And of course, if she sees something that maybe I can demonstrate live, she'll come on and just let me know what it is that you guys want me to show. Today's class is scheduled to be 1 hour, so I'm really, really excited to get started, and just wanted to give a shout out to the folks at LIBOR for having us today. Today's class is RPR Commercial, your secret weapon to commercial success. And like I said, thank you for the Long Island Board of Realtors for having us today to present all things related to commercial in the RPR platform. So for those of you who are not familiar with RPR, just a quick overview of who we are. We are a Realtors Property Resource, and we are NAR's technology company. We are a wholly owned subsidiary of the National Association of Realtors. So what you have access to on the RPR platform is a national database for both residential and commercial properties. You want to think about RPR as your one-stop shop for all things related to research, marketing, prospecting. You can search on market as well as off market properties. You can analyze neighborhood trends, market trends. You get lots and lots of great resources here at your fingertips, and they are all included as part of your NAR membership. So our platform was built exclusively for realtors. There is no additional charge. I love to talk about that because everything I show you today is 100% included as part of your NAR membership. There are no ads. There's no pop-ups that are going to distract you from doing your work. And there's no consumer access. So it's really a unique place for realtors to conduct a whole bunch of research and be able to share that research with their customers. So you're not going to have your customers saying, hey, I saw this property on RPR. Can you tell me more about it? No, it's going to be all there for you. And then you got to decide what information you want to share and exchange with your customers. So in terms of commercial, this class is completely centered around our commercial data. So we've got 864,000 plus on-market commercial properties that you have access to, as well as 56 million off-market commercial properties, which can be a real advantage if you're working with a buyer and you're just having a difficult time finding them that perfect commercial property. You can also search not only on market, but you can also do off-market property searches as well. So what you're seeing on our screen are some of our for sale and lease data partners. I'm not going to read every one of these to you. I'm going to point out that we are partnered up with Crexi and Brevitas. You can see CompStack, which is a great source of generating comparables if you're trying to do a presentation to a potential seller and you want to look at recently sold or leased commercial properties, you might want to research that on CompStack. We have recently partnered up with ICSC. That's been a really outstanding partnership. And then in terms of our off-market property data partners, we've got Black Knight. Site selection data comes from Esri. You can perform a short or a long-term investment analysis using a tool called Valuate. You will also find that on our site. Traffic counts, those are always a really big deal when we're talking about commercial property. A couple of questions always come to mind. Folks want to know if they're investing in commercial property. What does the traffic count daily look like? And what does the parking situation look like? So I'm going to show you some tips that you can answer those questions really fast for your customers. We're also going to look at some tenant data. You can perform a climate risk assessment using Climate Check. It's also will be found on our site. And we've got lots of points of interest that you can apply to the map. You've got a tremendous amount of United States Census data, as well as Esri information, and some of our information comes from Info USA. So you can see we have a lot of great commercial for sale and lease data partners. So with that being said, with RPR Commercial, you can, like I said, search for on and off market properties, and we are going to do that as part of my demonstration today. A big part of today's presentation is performing a strategic site selection. So what does that mean? If your buyer comes to you and they want to open up a new business, you're asking them some questions such as, who is your target audience? Who are you trying to attract to come to your business? So we're going to take some of those consumer attributes of a specific business model. We're going to apply them to the RPR platform and come up with the perfect location for a specific business model. That's what we call our strategic site selection. You can also pull custom trade area reports. You have 3 really profound commercial reports that you can access in RPR, and I'm going to show you what all 3 of those look like here in a little bit. Like I said, you can also perform an investment analysis and you can find new clients. So if you're looking to grow your business, you want to do some geographic farming, you can absolutely search for off-market properties. You can use some of our map tools, predictive analytics, find out things such as ownership time. You can create a geographic farm list, and you do have access to 2,000 mailing labels per month. So we give you a lot of resources in terms of building that farm list, but also the material that you'll need to market yourself. So let's talk about Esri Tapestry segmentation. Esri Tapestry segmentation is a detailed description of America's neighborhoods divided into distinct segments based on socioeconomic and demographic composition. You'll have 67 distinct market segments, 14 life mode groups, and 6 urbanization groups. And that's a lot of language. It's going to make a lot more sense once I show it to you live, and you can see exactly what these tapestry segments look like and what kind of data they will be able to help you provide to your customers. And I will tell you, when we do these commercial classes, we get lots and lots of commercial agents saying they're spending a lot of money to access some of this information that you can absolutely access for free right here on RPR. So this is an example of a consumer segmentation guide. You can see to the right of your screen a trade area report. It's going to include life mode, urbanization, and then the top 5 tapestry segments with very comprehensive breakdown into socioeconomic, demographic information. Everything you could possibly need about the top tapestry segments will be found on your trade area reports. This is just a quick example of a commercial agent who really took advantage of the RPR commercial site selection tools down there in San Antonio, Texas, and I don't know if you guys are getting those crumble cookies popping up there in your area, but they're starting to become popular. And this agent was able to help guide her customer into where the perfect location would be for those crumble cookie stores. So you can see on your screen, she did a great job opening up and guiding her customer with those cookie stores. All right, if you do not know how to access RPR, you can go directly to our website, narrpr.com, and create your account. You're just going to need your NAR member ID, your email. You want to go ahead and set up your password. You can go ahead and access your account, I would highly recommend, if you haven't done that, grab your account later today. You don't need to do that for today's presentation. I want to give a shout out to our mobile app. We have a phenomenal mobile app. I'll leave that QR code up here for a few seconds. The mobile app will give you the ability to search for properties both on and off market. You can generate reports, you can generate CMAs, buyer tours, and you can do some advanced marketing directly from the mobile app. So, again, you don't need that for today's presentation, but it's a great mobile app to have access to. This is kind of an example of what the mobile app will look like. You've got demographic info if you're researching commercial areas. You've got property detail information. You can have the ability to do investment analysis from the mobile app as well. So I am a huge advocate of our mobile app. I am a broker in Tampa. I use that mobile app all the time. All right, so let's talk about the 3 different reports that we are going to generate today. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and shut off my camera so we can just focus on the material. The first of the 3 commercial reports that you have access to is our property report. And our property report, as you can see on your screen, is going to be a very detailed analysis of a subject property. It's going to include historical data, tax information, listing information, previous listing history. You can see on your screen, one of the pages will in fact include the traffic counts. So all you have to do is generate a report on a subject property, and you can go ahead and access traffic counts, historical data, tax, even trade area information. So that's step 1. That's our property report, very specific to a subject property. And I want to point this out. You can create a property report for both an on-market property as well as an off-market property. So it works both ways. If you're getting ready to make an offer with a customer on a subject property, create the property report for a buyer. But if you're getting ready to go on a listing appointment for a commercial report, a commercial property, generate a property report for the off market. Still going to include all of that same data. The second report is our trade area analysis. And I was playing around with my trade area analysis up there for Suffolk County. We are going to do a live demonstration here shortly on a specific business model. But the trade area analysis is going to help guide your customers to identify the optimal location to search for properties based on those user selected attributes. Who is it that they're trying to attract to their place of business? And where do those folks live? Where do they live? How much money do they make? What is their overall demographic info? I'm going to show you how to find and analyze the perfect trade area for whatever business model your customers are looking for. So when you are looking at the trade area analysis, you're going to see cities are broken down, ranked, and these are some of the attributes that I used when selecting my trade area analysis. The third report that you have access to, and I love this one, this is our trade area report. Again, one of 3 commercial reports that you have access to in RPR. The trade area report, you can access that from any subject property in RPR, and it is going to give you a breakdown of the demographics, the economics, and again, those tapestry segments that I mentioned earlier, those top 5 tapestry segments for the trade area that the user has defined. So you can see here in this particular area in 11901 Riverhead, New York, I can do a quick trade area report, and it will tell me the median household size, the median household income, net worth, employment info, financial status, even what kind of vehicles these folks like to drive. So you can see on the top of your screen, you've got the life mode. Over to the right, you've got semi-rural, somewhat affordable housing. You can see at the top of your screen, the median household income, median age range for that area, total population, and again, that first dominant segment. So that's a quick example of the 3 different commercial reports. Do I have any questions before I move on? How are we doing out there, Katie? All right, looks like
We're
she's
good.
Okay, thank you. All right, so for my demo property today, I have chosen a med spa. Med spas are popping up all over here where we're at down here in Tampa. Very specific clientele, or pretty specific. So we have to ask our customer, who is the ideal customer? Who are you trying to attract? Customer's going to say, all right, for my med spa, I'm going to be looking for a high population of females. Well, tell me more about those females. Typically, middle aged ladies like to visit the med spa, although that's not always the case. We are starting to see the ladies younger and younger visiting those med spas. But we're going to basically take these four attributes, pop them into the RPR site, and come up with the perfect location in Suffolk County to open up our med spa. So, what else do we know about these ladies? They're middle aged. We also want to know that they have high disposable income. And then finally, what do they spend that high disposable income on? We want to find the ladies that are spending lots of money on personal care products. Now, this is just an example business model. Of course, you can do this for any business that you are working with your customer to open up. Maybe it's dog grooming or a children's consignment store, whatever the case may be. This is just an example of how you would take up to 5 consumer attributes, put them in the RPR platform, and then identify the optimal location for your business. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So let's go in and check out our RPR platform. Before I begin, you noticed on my slideshow that those reports, each one of those reports were customized with my photo, my branding. So I really want to just take you quickly to the top right of the RPR homepage. Click the drop down arrow. This is where you will set up your profile. If you haven't already done so, just click on profile, get your profile photo, your logo if you're interested. If your broker has not set up their branding, you will see the MLS that you subscribe to, One Key, or you may even see the RPR logo. So, and definitely want your brokers to get their logo up there so that when you are generating reports, the brokerage branding is there, your photo, your personal branding and logo, as well as all of your contact information, phone number, email addresses, websites, and of course, your license number. Always include your license number. You worked hard for that. So add that extra touch of professionalism and include that on your reports. So why do I point that out? The importance of setting up that profile on the top right of your screen so that when you are generating those reports, your cover sheet will be all set up and personally branded to you. Okay, so let's just quickly peek at a couple of our top tabs at the top of our screen. Under research, we do have a lot of residential options, but for today's presentation, we're going to be focusing on our commercial site selection tools. So this is where we're going to spend the majority of the time today. But I did want to point out you can do property searches under your research tab, map searches. We have over 15 different geographical map searches that you can apply, and you have a whole bunch of map tools that can help you as well with your searching, whether it's drawing on the map or maybe finding a radius. You can even estimate an average commute time. So if your customer says, I want to be within 15 minutes of the airport, you can find places of business within a 15-minute commute of a specific location using your map tools. But we're going to go ahead and focus on our commercial site selection today. Before we do that, I want to take you to the marketing tab real quick, let you know in terms of prospecting, you do have the ability to prospect for residential as well as commercial. I mentioned you can do off-market property searches, create a geographic farm list, and you have access to 2,000 mailing labels. And then, of course, you've got lots and lots of different marketing materials within RPR. Once you've defined the area you want to prospect to, we also give you the materials to send out. So speaking of prospecting reports, let's talk about our reports. You see on your screen, you have 8 different residential reports. We're going to be focusing on those 3 commercial reports that I mentioned earlier. Our property report specific to a subject property, our trade area report, which is going to summarize the demographics, economic indicators, and then our trade area analysis, which is where we're going to find the perfect location for our med spa. So, just a quick note, if you are curious about how these different reports can fit into your business model, click on picking the right report and you'll get a 5-minute overview of all of these different reports. One more thing I want to point out over to the far right is our help desk. We are open 24/7. RPR is here for you, designed to help you save time, save money. Our team of help support is out in Nebraska. They are open 24/7. You can call, you can live chat, or you can email them. All right. Over to the right is where we have our work. So I gave a shout out to the mobile app. If you are out, and we're all out on the market all the time, on the road, searching for inventory, if you forget to save something from the mobile app, it will automatically be synced up when you return to the desktop. So your saved properties, recent searches, any reports that you have run, you will be able to access them under my work. All right, so that is a quick overview of our top tabs. These are always going to appear for you at the top of your screen. Quickly, just want to point out the difference when we're looking at residential properties versus commercial. It's a simple toggle back and forth switch on the top left of your screen. And of course, when we do that, our interactive map down here changed considerably. And I just want to point out the difference when we're searching for residential. You have all of these different property types. You do have multifamily and land. You will often see those two property types listed in both residential and commercial. So I do want to give you some guidance in terms of searching for these two types of properties. Be sure to make a commercial search as well. Now, when we shift gears to the left and go back to our commercial side, and then I go over to my property type, now I have the ability to search all of these different property types. And you can see on your screen, yep, we've got multifamily and land in both places. And again, that's because lots of agents will go ahead and include them in both residential and commercial. All right, so that's the big difference. I want to point out when we're in commercial, also under our type and status, you have the ability to search for sale. You can search for lease. You can select one or both. You also have the ability to search public records. Very simple, just change your search to public records. So if you are looking for those off-market properties specific to a property type, I would encourage you to go in and do a public records search. And if we have time towards the end, I'll try to get to that. So go back to for sale. Really quickly want to point out when we click on our close buttons, you'll notice RPR includes both MLS data. It's also going to include public records sales as well. We know not every property sells through the MLS. Sometimes there's by owners, sometimes they're new construction. So when you are searching for comps in RPR, always be sure to select that box where you are including public records sold data. And of course, you can also search withdrawn, canceled, and expired listings if you'd like. You do have the ability to search for that. Again, that's going to be under our status type. So, a couple more things I want to point out before we begin our search process. Our guided tours are quick shortcuts. If you miss something that I say today, you can analyze the site selection process, or maybe you're interested in learning more about our investment analysis tool or prospecting. These guided tours will take you through some short steps to help you with those processes. And then on the home screen, you're going to see My Markets. Now, My Markets is your hot sheet. This is where you can add or remove multiple markets, multiple zip codes, or cities, neighborhoods. I went ahead and added all of Suffolk County. You can see this is only going to include inventory that has changed in the last 10 days. So you'll see here on your map, 57 properties have come up in the last 10 days. Again, we've got our site selection set. I'm sorry, we've got our property style set to commercial. So these are all going to be commercial properties that you see on your screen. Anything in yellow in RPR is going to indicate that it's for lease. So you will see all of these different properties are in fact rental properties. So blue is going to indicate for sale, yellow is for lease. Looks like 28 properties have come on the market in the last 10 days for lease. Pending, we have 14 pending properties that have gone under contract in the last 10 days. Anything with a blue circle and a black ring around it is going to indicate that it is pending. And you can see there, 100 Riviera Drive recently went under contract. It was listed for $599 and it has gone under contract. 6 properties have closed. We can analyze any of these from our map. There's some vacant land again. Looks like it might be in a residential area. So you always want to keep your eye out for residential and commercial when you're looking at vacant land. And then anything that is yellow and it's squared means it's recently been leased out. It's actually called closed in RPR, but we know that just means that it's been recently rented. And then anything in red in RPR is going to indicate that it's in some type of a distressed status. So when I click on that little red dot, you will see, yep, it absolutely is. It's in foreclosure, listed for 189,000. Now, at any time, if I want to add multiple markets to my home screen, I can simply just click on the add button. And then over to the right, I can add multiple markets. So that is how that's going to work. Very easy. Just be sure you hit save. Also, with commercial and residential, if you want this orange flag saying new to appear on certain listings, you get to decide, what does new mean to you? Maybe it's 7 days, maybe it's 3 days. You can go ahead and set the system to apply this orange flag to new inventory based on what you consider as new. Could be 30 days, 14, whatever you'd like. So I wanted to just point that out. Let's leave that. Let's go back to our home screen. I want to take you to quickly a subject property that has recently gone pending. Want to point out from the map, if I click on this subject property, and this applies for any of our subject properties, you're going to see this View Full Details tab. When I click on that, now I can analyze the subject property. I can look at the entire history. I can analyze the trade area information, updates. I can look at the description as well as the map, property facts. Additional resources is going to be over to the right. I've got my listing agent, Scott Paisley, there. I can see the listing details down here on the bottom right. This listing source actually came from One Key MLS, and I can even see some of the showing instructions. I can also access tenant data, ownership facts, financial details, the legal description, and the listing history. So lots and lots of great information. We're going to analyze another subject property here in just a few seconds. I just wanted to point out that you can actually access an entire property details page from our home page looking at that map. All I did was I shifted down to pending properties. I picked one that I wanted to analyze a little bit more. I selected it and I went in and I looked at all of that important info. One more thing before we move on, I just want to point out, if you want to quickly change your view of, like, maybe I want to go to Melville and see what's happening in that area. Doesn't seem like a whole lot has happened in the last 10 days, but you can see this area on the map and how easy it was for me to shift from all of Suffolk County to a specific zip code. All right, so let's go back out here. We'll go back to our Suffolk County. Quickly just point out again, you've got 56 active properties that have come on the market in the last 10 days. Again, if you want to go in and look at all of the properties, go up to the top right and click on your map search. When I do that, I'm going to get a whole bunch more results. Want to point out while we're on the map, anytime you are on a map view here in RPR, you're going to have access to those 15 different geographical search options, cities, census tracts, zip codes. All of these can be unique search opportunities for you. And then over to the right, you have all of your map tools. You've got the ability to change the view to a satellite view. We can quickly look at that, super easy. Go back to our road view. We can draw on our map. We can analyze commute time, distance, and traffic counts. We can apply points of interest to our maps. When we look at the map points of interest, you can see if you have a customer looking to open up a restaurant, they maybe want to be in an area with lots of other restaurants. You can go ahead and apply any of these points of interest to your map. Same thing with schools. You can apply school data, data layers. You've got the ability under our data layers to apply all of these demographic indicators, and you can apply flood zone info as well. Just select flood zones, and you're going to start to see our interactive map pop up. You can see all of this green is in a very low risk. The closer you get to the water, the higher the flood zone risk is, and that's going to be represented here in red. So I did want to point out just quickly some of our map tools. Let's go ahead and clear that guy out. We'll clear that at the top. And we're going to go back home now. Let me see if Katie has any questions before I move on.
I think we're good to go.
All right, terrific. Let's go ahead and do a quick property search. To do that, all I need to do is go to the top under my location. I'm going to select 11901. Very easy. Select your location, select your status type. What am I looking for? Am I looking for properties that are for lease, or do I just want to look for properties for sale? I'll select active inventory only. Under my property type, I'm going to just select healthcare, maybe office and retail. I could select all of these areas, but usually when you're looking for commercial property, it's pretty specific to one of these different property types. To the right, I could apply a price filter, and I can search and apply price parameters, building information in terms of square footage, lot size. And then over to the right, I also have the ability under more filters. Do you all see that up here at the top right? When I click on more filters, I have the ability now to add some additional filters to my search. Maybe land use, maybe distressed info. I've got keyword search opportunities down here if I'm specifically maybe looking for an RV park, or if I have a buyer looking to open up a car wash. If the listing includes any of these keywords and you select those properties will start to populate. And then one quick note of interest under our miscellaneous fields, when we're doing a public record search, take note under our miscellaneous fields, we can apply ownership time. So if you're looking to generate a farm list, doesn't make a lot of sense to reach out to property owners that have bought in the last 5 years. You might want to search for property owners that have owned 10 or more years. So you do have some of these predictive analytic tools that you can apply to your search as well. All right, so let's go back up. All we need to do now is just hit our little magnifying glass, come up with some properties. I found 9 properties on my map in 11901. So with our 9 properties, we can see at the top right of our screen, we have 3 different views. What we're looking at right here is our map view. I can also go to my list view. When I go to my list view, they're obviously going to be in order. However, I want to sort them. I can sort them by price. I can sort them by square footage. I can even sort them by time or days on market. We'll leave it alone at price. The highest one there is 7.8. Up to the top right again, if I don't like the list view, I have the option to go ahead and select my nice side-by-side view. And from here, you're looking at all 9 properties that are available actively for sale in Riverhead that meet this property type criteria. And at any time, if you want to take a deeper dive into a subject property, all you need to do is click on the address. And we're going to go ahead and do that right now. We'll click on the address, and again, we're taken to our property details page. What you're going to see, like I showed you from the map, you've got your property info. You can analyze the map. We'll take a peek at that, see where this property is on the map. Now, when I'm looking at the map, you're going to see again, my geographical tools are to the left and my map tools are to the right, so I could easily change the view. So let's just do that. Let's say we are interested in making an offer on this $7.8 million property. I changed my view. My buyer's asking me, tell me about the parking situation. Well, we can zoom way in, zoom in, and we can see, here's my subject property from the sky. I can see the road area, and I'm not really too sure what the parking situation is, if it's back here, but it gives me some food for thought, something I can demonstrate to my customers. So all I did was clicked on the view. Let's go ahead back. Also, you can change it to the aerial view and it's going to start applying some roads, street names, maybe some other points of interest. And we're going to skip back down to our road view. And one more thing while we're here on our map. Again, we talked about traffic counts, how important that is to analyze the traffic counts for this property. All I'm going to do is go down to my driving tool. You bet, guessed it, traffic counts. I'm going to go ahead and select apply. And just that fast, I was able to tell my property buyer that on average, these little orange, these little shapes are going to show me my traffic counts. So it looks like on Griffin Avenue, I get about 2,800 cars per day. Perhaps this road down here is going to be quite a bit busier. That's going to give me 11,000 cars per day. And then over to the far left on Roanoke Ave, about 9,000 cars per day. Far right, I should say. So it's super easy to analyze traffic counts. Let's see, any questions about how that works? Let me pause. All right, take a sip of my water and we'll keep it rolling then. So that's how easy it is to apply the traffic counts. Each one of these shapes is going to represent a different traffic count. All I did was clicked on my driving tool. Again, points of interest, I'll quickly show that one more time. Let's say, for instance, we want to apply maybe restaurants. Oh, what the heck? We'll just go ahead and apply restaurants and shopping centers, maybe transportation. We'll select apply. And now here's my subject property on the map. I can see all of these little points of interest on the map will represent. There's a screen repair, and it's going to give me a breakdown of the business. What does it do? How big is it? What's their sales volume? How many employees do they have? So, like I said, if you are interested, your buyer is interested in being near a lot of restaurants. Not sure I'm seeing a whole bunch here, but here's one down here. I'm not even going to try to say it. Heiting restaurant, maybe. So you guys probably know better than I. So these represent all of the different points of interest that you can apply to your map. Okay, let's clear that out. Let's go back to our property information page. Really quickly, want to just point out you can see all of the listing photos. If your customer's ready to make an offer on this beautiful property, you can see everything there is to know, everything that the listing agent has included. Again, we've got the photos, the complete description of the property. We have another way to access our map over to the right. I'm not going to do that again, but I did want to point out under additional resources, you've got that Valuate tool. Here's Brevitas, CompStack, if you're looking to find those sold and leased comparables, as well as your climate check. Here's our listing agent. This particular property came to us from Brevitas. That is the listing source. You can compare the public record data to the listing data. And then when I scroll down, I can get all of those property features, the details, and a complete list of tenant information if that info is available. And I can even print the tenant list. Pretty interesting if you're working with an investor that wants to understand the tenants that are occupying that property. Here's our ownership fact information. We want to make sure we're got everything we need if we're getting ready to make an offer. So we have ownership info, financial information, the last major renovation details, no defaults that were recorded on this property. Here's our legal description. Again, important if you're going to make an offer. Here's our listing history. If there were previous listings, we could even compare records. There aren't any, so we'll go ahead and we can do a side-by-side comparison of the current listing to the public record info. And again, you've got that public record history, the deed, and the tax info. And if I want to look at more info, I just click on more details. And also, under our public record history, if this property had ever been in any type of a distress status, that would appear for you here under our public record history tab. Okay, so that's a real thorough analysis of a subject property. We also looked at the map. I want to take you to my updates. If you want to add your own photos, maybe you're representing a buyer, you've snapped some photos that you want to share with them, you can upload your own photos to this page. It will be for your eyes only. Nobody else will see that. No other realtors will be able to access your photos, and you can add notes as well. So if you want to add some text, you can go ahead and do so. Now, for the really cool thing, let's say, for instance, we want to include this entire property information in one report. We're going to go up to the top and select Create Report. But before I do that, I want to take you to the trade area because, again, this is where the meat of the area is going to be found. When I select trade area information, now what can I do? I can access median household income, median age range, the total population, and our first dominant tapestry segment. I can see all of this demographic facts and stats. If I leap all the way down here to home values, I want to know what the home values are in this 11901. The median estimated home value is about 627. And you can see it does a comparison of Suffolk County and to the entire state. So you got population, age, income info. Scrolling on down, I've got my consumer segmentation. There's my life mode. The top segment is my senior escapes. Well, what does that mean? Married couples without kids. Median age range is 56.2. Median household income, median net worth, home ownership. Let's see, we've got employment, education levels, preferred activities, even what kind of vehicles these folks tend to drive. And then at the very bottom, you can even do a trade area comparison for neighborhoods nearby. And then if you decide that your customer is interested in this other area, you can right from here go in and start looking for listings. So that trade area information is not only going to give you the top 5 segments, it's also, when you create the trade area report, going to give you a full 1-page document explaining in greater detail what each of these segments means. All right, so let's go back to our property. So I want to make sure you guys know that under these tabs, this does not matter. This property is absolutely actively listed, but you can access all of this information for an off-market property as well. So in order to create a property report, we are again going to go back up to our create report. And you'll see it's going to default to the report that you are looking for. Right here is my property report. I can view a side-by-side sample of what this property report looks like. It's going to include all of that great information that I just shared with you. Whoops, and I just lost it. Let's go back out. Oh, okay, well, we'll go back to our create report one more time. Don't know why that happened, but always something with a live webinar. So you can view the sample, you can customize this report. So if you are looking at adding your own pages to the report, maybe you want your resume included or client testimonials. To add your own pages, you just go to the far right and manage custom pages, and then simply select the report elements that you want to include when you're sharing this info with your customers. Maybe the deed record and mortgage info isn't something you want to include. You can go ahead and simply unselect those. School summary you can include or exclude. Whatever you want to do, you can go ahead. I would always encourage you to include the About RPR page with your reports, though, because that's really where it's going to educate your customer not only on where the data came from that you have researched, but also how often that data is updated. Okay, so that is how you would create a property report specific to a subject property. You can also personalize it, add your customer's name. You can display it now, or you can choose to email it directly to your customer. So let's take a quick peek at our subject property. Let's take a look at this guy here. When I download this report, let's take a peek. All right, so here's my report. I kind of showed you a little bit about that in my PowerPoint at the beginning. I've got the photo, I've got my branding all set up, and then this is what the comprehensive property report is going to look like. It's going to include tenant data, all of the tenant history, if it is accessible. We also have the listing facts and details, public record info, the history of the taxes. Of course, you've got all of the photos that are available that the listing agent included. Here's your traffic counts, all beautifully laid out for us, easy to present to our customer. And then our final page is going to be the About RPR page. And that is going to again include where the data came from and also how often this data is updated. So lots of good stuff there. Questions before we move on? Katie, how are we doing before I get into my trade area report?
We're good.
All right. So from that subject property, I could also have created that trade area information to easily create the report for the trade area. We just simply, again, go up to create report and it's going to default. Well, here we go. Trade area report. We can, again, go through the same steps, view a sample, and we can customize it. And again, we can run our report at the bottom. Keep in mind when we're creating a trade area report or any of our reports, one drop down. You can download these to your computer, but you can also post to social media. So if you're looking to use some of the reports for marketing, it's very, very easy to generate the reports, customize them, and then one click you can post to social media. So I'll give you a quick look at our trade area report for that area. Let's take a peek. Again, we've got that criteria, top tapestry segments. Here's our senior escapes. And I mentioned if you're not really satisfied with kind of the summary of these tapestry segments, the trade area report is going to include a complete one-page analysis all about this segment. So you'll see that for the top 5 segments. The number 2 segment in the area is called City Lights, talks about the neighborhood, the market profile, where do they shop, what are their socioeconomic traits. Pretty cool stuff, don't you think? I just love the reports, and I really especially love that you can drop down and quickly post or email. One more thing about the reports, they will always be stored for you for 30 days in RPR. So if you want them for longer, you want to make sure you save those to your computer. All right, let's move on. Let's go home. And now we are going to go back up to our research tab, top screen. And this is where we're going to go ahead and perform our commercial site selection for our med spa. And I'm going to show you how this is going to work. It's super easy. When we click on commercial site selection, we have 2 steps. Step 1, what's the broad area you want to search? So what I'm basically going to do, because I live down here in Tampa, I'm not too familiar with your area. I'm just going to make this a Suffolk County search. But you do see you can apply the city or a zip code. We're going to go ahead and say Suffolk County. There we go. Did I spell that wrong? I sure did. Bear with me, guys. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to type in my county. You can also select an area on the map. Now, this is the fun part. We've selected the broad area that we want to search. Step 2, we get to choose up to 5 attributes for that particular business model, which was our med spa. But notice you have many, many different attributes. So you can apply this to any business model. You've got the who, the what, where do they live? What do they buy? And you even have facts and stats. So we're going to go ahead and just select 4 attributes. We have the ability to select up to 5. The first attribute is going to be the who are they. So when I select who, I have all of these different attributes. I can search by gender or age, income, and net worth. I'm going to go with gender, and I'm going to select my females. All right, because we know we're looking for those ladies that like to visit the med spa. So the next criteria we're going to use is, again, we're going to go back to who are they and what else do we know about these ladies? Well, we want to find ladies of a certain age. So we're going to select the age option. And you'll notice I've got children, tweens, if I'm looking to open up a kid's toy store, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to select middle-aged right here. And if I'm not sure what middle-aged means, just hover over the help bubble to the far right. And it's going to give me people between the ages of 40 and 59. So I'm going to say okay to that. A couple more criterias. What else do we know about these ladies of a certain age? We want them to have lots of extra money. So we're going to go and select who they are. And our attribute is going to now shift over to income. We'll say income. Now, we don't want the ladies with low income. We want the high disposable income by percentage. I'm going to select that as my third attribute. And when I go to the help bubble again, it's going to show me that these are the ladies that have an excess of $50,000 annually. So we'll say, okay, we're really working out a good platform here. We've got our ladies with lots of money. What else do we want to know? What do they buy? What are they spending their money on? So we'll select what they buy. And then this attribute is going to be personal care, basically themselves. But if I was looking to open up a restaurant or a healthcare business, these are the folks that are spending money on food, housing stuff, things like that. But we're going to go ahead and say personal care products. You got it. We're going to go ahead and say okay. And from here now, I've selected my 4 attributes. I could have gone with 5. Now all I need to do is select run my analysis at the bottom. Now it's going to take a few moments to generate. So why don't we stop, pause, see if there are any questions that I can answer while this analysis is generating. Surely, Katie, you got something for me.
We're all good. My only suggestion would be for agents that aren't familiar with our site selection is to go into RPR and take some time to go through the 5 main attributes and look at all of those subcategories. Because sometimes when you're looking for something that's a little unique, it could be in a section of those, and you just have to keep expanding them to find the right thing. And there's no easy way to learn what those attributes are until you go in and do the homework and read them all.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And you think about businesses, I always think about Lululemon, right? How does Lululemon know exactly where to open up their fancy yoga stores? They're using these type of tools. They're analyzing demographic info, socioeconomic status, things like that. So great point, Katie. Yeah, whatever, get in there and practice. Play around with this in your area. It's really a fun tool. And what you're seeing now is the results of our site selection. Now, you guys know Long Island better than I do, but these deep purple pockets are showing us those are the ideal locations for our med spa. So the darker the purple, the better the fit. You'll see it's broken down with good, better, and best. And I don't know much about Babylon or Dix Hills, but it looks like the ladies in Dix Hills are spending about $2,347 annually on personal care products. Those folks have almost 90% have high disposable income, 29% are middle aged, 50% are females. So it's pretty cool. You've got an entire breakdown of all of these different neighborhoods. This is what we call our trade area analysis. It's going to show you why the RPR platform picked these different darker purple pockets as perfect for our med spa. So not only can you see the neighborhoods, the areas, but you can also see the criteria to the left, the analysis that we applied. We can adjust that. We can go ahead and select all of these different areas. And when we do that, we have some options. We can search for listings. We can search our public records database, or we could go ahead and get our trade area analysis report. So it's really kind of fun. If I click on my Get Trade Area Analysis Report, it's going to give me the same options again: view the sample, customize, upload my own pages. Don't forget to run your report. Close that guy out, and it's going to take a few moments to populate, but we'll go ahead and take a peek at one that we ran a little bit earlier. Let's look at our report options. I think this is one of my favorite things to demo, because if you hand this off to your buyer, they're asking you to guide them on the perfect location for their business, and you give them all of this great consumer info. It's pretty powerful stuff. Now, I didn't exclude any of these neighborhoods. Oh, that doorbell is not mine. It's actually the system telling me that my report is done. So you can cut out some of these different neighborhoods. Always remember, at the last page of all of our reports, you are going to have the About RPR data. Second to last on our trade area analysis that you're going to provide to your customers is the criteria information. And again, you did not have to, or I did not have to include all of those pockets, but I went ahead and showed you what they all look like. And it gives you a nice breakdown, not only of the where in this area is the best place, but the why. So that's always a big question. Why is, let's see, Fort Salonga? I'm not sure I'm saying it right, but why is that? Why did that come up in our top 10? Well, because these folks have a lot of money and they're spending a lot of it on themselves. So that's what the personal care products and the high disposable income will show you on the trade area analysis. So that is an overview. There's my report. That doorbell rang. If you you can shut that doorbell off if you would like. You don't have to hear it every time you run a report. So again, your reports are going to be stored for 30 days. Anytime, if you're just doing some general marketing, just download it. You can email it. You can mail it. You can include it as part of a direct mail campaign, or you can post it to social media. So what do you guys think? I love this tool. It's super fun. Lots of commercial agents get a big kick out of all of the info that they can access. Do we have time to search maybe for an off-market property? What do you guys think? Go ahead and shut that camera back off. We'll go ahead quickly and do an off-market property search. I am going to go in and maybe look in, we'll go to West Babylon 11704. In order to search for off-market properties, what do I need to do? Change my status type from for sale and lease, and I shift over to my public records search. So then maybe I want to apply some additional filters. Maybe I'm looking for a customer who's trying to find retail, shopping center, restaurants. We'll keep this kind of broad because you never know with off market what we're going to find. And we'll stick to office as well. So we'll select these different property types, apply some additional filters over to the far right under more filters. And again, I mentioned earlier under our ownership time, we don't want to find property owners that have owned in the last 0 to 5 years. We'll grab the 10 to 15 year mark, go over and update and search. Hopefully we'll come up with some properties in this area. And yeah, we did. We found 60 off-market properties. You can see them all on your screen. If I want to create a geographic farm list, I've got my mailing label options up here to the top of our screen. I've got my 3 different views, side by side list, and then my map. And here's my off-market properties on the map. And I can zoom in. So maybe I want to include all 60 of these property owners in a mailing list. Okay, we can simply go ahead. If I want to analyze this subject property in greater details, I can click on it, and that's going to take me to my property details page one more time. But I'm going to go in, select mailing labels. And when, that property, I guess there must be some local market conditions that you guys cannot export off-market properties, and I did not know that. So my apologies, guys. Ethan, can you hear me okay? Just to clarify.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, so with off-market properties, is that a local regulation where you can't export public record data? I know in Tampa
I would not know the answer to that, unfortunately.
Well, it wouldn't let me. So what do you think, Katie? Probably means it's just not allowed in that particular area.
Suffolk County may prohibit the use of public record data for marketing, but I do know Nassau County allows it.
Oh, okay. Well, play around with it in your area. In this particular case, when I tried to select mailing labels, it says cannot be exported due to local regulations. So go in, practice wherever you are, and maybe you can go ahead and grab the off-market properties. But while we're here really quick, if I want to take a deeper dive into this 972 Sunrise Highway property, I can view the full details. And again, just to reiterate, you've got your map tools, your trade area information. All of that info is going to apply for both an on-market and an off-market property. All right, so you got your map views, all of that good stuff. I guess we are at the top of the hour. Michael's happy. Michael, I hope you enjoyed today's presentation. If there is anything else I can help you guys with, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Remember, our help desk is open 24/7. I do want to take you to our learning center. If you click on learn, you can go down to view more ways to learn, and that is going to take you to the RPR Learning Center. We offer a whole bunch of additional classes, national webinars that you can sign up for. They're free, they're fun. Katie and I have a lot of fun doing them. But also, if you don't have time to attend additional classes, go to the topics that you're interested in on our Learning Center. If you want to learn more about investment analysis tools, just select the topic that you are interested in, and anything that we have to offer will be found for you here to the right. CMAs, you got buyer tours, broker tools, you got lots and lots of great resources on the RPR platform. All right, guys, that's, I guess, it for me today. You will get a copy of this recording following today's presentation. I just want to again give LIBOR a shout out. Thank you for having us. Katie, thank you for backing me up. I have enjoyed spending the last hour with you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Any other questions? Ethan, Michael, anything I can answer before we end this call?
Looks like you answered all of them. I think we've seen them. Seems like everyone really enjoyed the presentation, so thanks for coming on, and we really enjoyed it. Thanks,
All
guys.
right.
Have a great day.
It was my pleasure. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.